All right, everyone, here we go. We are now at the end of this book. We are at the Game Master section, so I'm not going to go into super detail on this, but these are some adventure ideas that come with any good source book, how to use the information you were just given. As we can see here, we have an awesome glitter boy getting attacked by a wasp mechanoid. And we got some brute, looks like the remnants of a brute mechanoid in the bottom. As you can see, the pylons have been engaged, so he can't run away from this wasp. He's going to get his ass handed to him.
You can't shoot a wasp with the boom gun?
Well, you can, but they're a very small target and they're very fast. They get bonuses to dodge.
Oh.
Okay, this adventure is called The Nightmare Begins. Basic plot. This adventure is an introduction to the Mechanoids, their cruelty, and their plan for destruction. It is suitable for player characters of any experience level, but is ideal for low to mid-level characters. Some GMs may want to beef up the opposition if a player group is high level or unusually tough. However, even against high-level heroes, the GM may want to keep things as they are. This would make it a quickie adventure that establishes the overall setting and conflicts to come. Okay, now this one is a drop-in adventure, maybe in the middle of another adventure, as long as they're passing through Maryland. If characters are passing through Maryland, you drop this as a one-off. They come across these weird cyborg creatures who instantly attack them because they're humanoid.
Why are the Borg attacking us?
Yeah, and there you go. So subscribe to the Borg attacking. And so you destroy them, you sift through their remains, and you're like, we've never seen anything, we've never heard of anything like this before. Huh, okay, we'll put this in the back of our mind and move on. And then later on, another adventure. Now the Mechanoids become the main deal for your characters later on. And then we have I'm not gonna let you.
Don't spoil the stuff, but show some good adventure ideas. I like this.
Right. And then there's the map scenario outline. The setting: the eastern forests of Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, or neighboring area. Basic plot: a group of 2-bit bandits are running a clever scam on adventurers who have come to these parts looking for the Devourer. That's what the dragon head of the Free State of Laszlo calls the Mechanoids as one of the 7 threats to Rift's Earth. If the Mechanoids are not stopped, they will destroy Rift's Earth. They will. That's it. And so they're called the Devourer.
Okay.
Wily Willie Gladansky, a confidence man of remarkable talent, claims to know where to find the devouring swarm. According to Wily Willie, there's a place of magic, Leyline Nexus, where the Devourer has created a dimensional rift. This is supposedly the rift that the Devourer first arrived through, and now which he continues to bring his demonic troops. To add to his credibility, Willie accurately describes the Mechanoid, Brute, Wasp, Runt, and Thin Man. All of these are different types of Mechanoid shells. As a final touch, he pulls out a keepsake, a close encounter, the grinning jaw of a Thin Man, and a few other bits and pieces of alien scrap metal. If questioned, Willie seems to be absolutely sincere and honest. His story is consistent and feasible. In fact, okay, this is the deal. He's a con man. He's trying to take your money, send you on a wild goose chase, and then disappear. All right, it's a regular con man stuff. Only he's more on the mark than he knows. The rift he's talking about that's currently open is not currently open, but where he takes them is where the Mechanoids are, hoping that the Mechanoids will kill the adventuring group, so no one knows he's a con man. So far, it's worked great. But you, brave adventurers, you make it out, you confront Willie, and you tear him a new one, hopefully.
You show him what the Mechanoids do.
Yeah. And then we move on. Willie and the bandits, blah, blah, blah. Wild Willie.
What is it with the Leyline walkers always wearing a mask?
This is in Chaos Earth. This comes from Chaos Earth because they were called Blue Line Wizards in Chaos Earth, and in the aftermath of the apocalypse, the air was dirty. It was cold all the time because of nuclear winter, so they had to wear respirators of some kind, and they had to cover themselves in layers and layers.
It's just weird because that picture right there, it doesn't matter how anybody ever looks. I mean, that's obviously a Leyline walker. He's got 2 knobs coming out of his head, and he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, it is tradition now to wear this no matter what. even though the air is clean and the
well,
temperature's
the
normal.
tradition part makes sense. I wasn't sure actually why they were doing it, but if it's tradition, okay,
it's
I get
tradition.
that.
All right, and then we move on to adventure. Those are the two adventures written for you, and then it gives you adventure ideas, possible encounters or subplots. And again, I don't want to go through them. These are evil among humans, non-player characters. DB woman situation, blah blah blah. Evil among humans is another scenario outline. Liberty, another scenario outline.
So if you get this book, you've got 4 adventures right there so far.
Yeah, you've got 2 completely fleshed out adventures and 2 outlines so far. 3 outlines that are like, bullet point broad strokes that you have to fill in the ideas. And then there's more that are just ideas not even fleshed out at all. The Mechanoid God, the Torturer, the Secret, these are all ideas that you have to flesh out and you have to turn into actual adventures.
So what kind of adventure would you make here? Not necessarily using those, but whether it's a whole, maybe you didn't think about this, or just something that you found interesting to be like an idea that I'd want to do with Mechanoids.
It actually depends. It depends. If the characters have met Archie before, and if they did an adventure out of Sourcebook number 1, if they've met Archie and believe Archie is still alive, well, these new machines are in his domain. And they might try and find Archie or try and see if Archie is up to no good and building new robots. And this would help them find the epicenter of the Mechanoid problem. And then they'd either fight it themselves. I wouldn't recommend that. Or they would go and get help from people who understand the Mechanoid problem is what it is, like the people of Laszlo or the Splugorth of Atlantis understand the Mechanoid problem. And once they find out the Mechanoids are on Earth, they are not happy. They think about leaving. Splugorth are alien intelligences. They're basically above gods in the Rift's universe. And they're a little bit afraid of Mechanoids. Now, the reason being is because the Splugorth enslave humanoids. The Splugorth are not humanoids. They're gobs of goo with tentacles and an eyeball. They're not humanoids at all. The Mechanoids don't have a problem with them, but they protect humanoids. As slaves, sure, but still provide and protect to humanoids. Verboten. No. You're a traitor.
You're a race traitor
as well.
Okay.
So yeah. So if they were involved with Archie and have some kind of relationship with him, then they would go to Aberdeen to say, hey, what are these new things going on? Or if they think Archie's up to his tricks again, and then go after Archie again. Or if they haven't met Archie before, they haven't done any of the adventures in Sourcebook 1, then if they told their story to anyone, any nation around, then that nation would pay them to investigate. And I would go have them investigate the forests around, Virginia and Maryland and stuff like that.
So how could you run a Mechanoids, we'll say, campaign, since they're as powerful as they are? Does something like the Mechanoids, is that better as like a 1-off or 2-off and then come back to it later? Or how would you do a campaign? Because it seems like this could escalate quickly.
Oh, it could escalate very quickly. And that's the cool point. That is the point. If you do not nip the Mechanoids in the bud, they will burn the world to ashes. And this will become very clear once anyone actually gets any concrete information on the Mechanoids. If you actually talk to Archie or Hagen or anyone who's in the know, they will tell you, listen, these things will not stop. These are all T-800s. They will not rest. They will not stop until all humans are dead. You cannot let them get a foothold on this planet. You cannot. And
as far as we know to this point, in like 4 million Rift source books that have come out, we haven't taken up that mantle to try to stop them yet.
Well, in this book, this is your job. This is the group's job in this book. Okay. All right. So it's your job as a group. If your GM has this book and is running you through it, then it's your job to stop the Mechanoid invasion. Right now, like I said, there's only a few dozen Mechanoids. And there's more now because Archie has to help them. He doesn't want to, but he has to, because there's enough of them to where they could destroy him.
Be interesting to see the new Archie source book that's coming out, like what his thoughts are on that, because I think that's actually
in this book it gives updated Archie robots, updated Archie stats, updated power armor, stuff like that Archie's creating for the sole purpose of fighting the Mechanoids. He's actually created technology that looks nothing like his normal technology, keeping it secret from the Mechanoids so he can use it as a guerrilla force. So even if you had Archie as an enemy in Sourcebook 1, which he is, he's a bad guy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend in this instance.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy, which is crazy powerful.
Like the a psychotic megalomaniacal robot is infinitely better than a psychotic murderous entire race of beings that can clone themselves into an army of 100,000 in under a year. That's more dangerous. And Archie understands that. As long as you and Archie are on the same page, you are temporary allies. And that's a way it could go. You could ally with Archie's guerrilla force, stopping the Mechanoids from getting the resources they need to bring up their clone facilities, or the resources they need to create new power supplies for their cyborg bodies.
Are there any, without giving away spoilers that would be bad for game masters, are there any weaknesses to the Mechanoids in terms of fighting, things that humans can exploit naturally?
Yes. Because they are in complete psychic contact with everyone they see as a level playing field being, they have trouble with subterfuge. Okay. Your rank and file, on the ground Mechanoid is intelligent. They're all smart. Some smarter than most, but none of them are dumb. But they're naive when it comes to subterfuge, lying, and stuff like that, because they live in a society of complete openness. Yeah. A psychic link with everyone of their kind. So they can't handle, they can't navigate a really good liar. They have trouble with that. So that's something you can use bluffing. That's something you can use against them. Now, the problem is all of them are psionic. Some of them more than others, but many of them have telepathy. They have things, and as long as you have some kind of way to defend against that, actually Archie in this book created a technological mind block, a technological psionic mind block. Put on a helmet, power it up, and you have an automatic mind block, which is awesome. A techno wizard would love to get their hands on that. Oh yeah. And that could be a spoil of war for working with Archie. You steal one of these, or you get one, and you retro engineer it, and boom, you have a techno wizard, automatic psionic mind block. Great, cool. So yeah, that is about it.
One last question.
What's that?
I already know the answer. Well, I know your answer.
Sure.
Because somebody's going to ask this.
Okay.
I've got a Mechanoids campaign I'm about to start. How do I let player characters be a Mechanoid?
You don't.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,